In the days leading up to Christmas in 1990, the affluent town of Winnetka, Illinois suffers from a string of home invasion-style robberies. Investigators believe that the break-ins are connected as they follow a similar MO. The back or basement doors are forced open, the homes are ransacked, and the faucets are always left running. With more families going out of town for the holidays, police are on high alert to catch the criminals in the act, until an unexpected hero comes along and saves the day.
Welcome to Heist Club, where we've got a new heist story coming at you each week. We're here to uncover the details behind some of the most audacious and ridiculous robberies of all time. How they pulled it off, how they got caught, and the mysteries that remain. Bank heists, art heists, diamond heists, and other capers you won't believe. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Todd.
Welcome to the club.
Hello, Jesse.
Hi, Todd.
How are you today?
I am fine.
Just fine? Everything okay?
Everything's great.
Okay, well, Jesse, today's heist, it's a Christmas-related heist, so maybe we should have done this as a Christmas episode, looking back on it. But too late now. I'd say Christmas in July, but it's also not July. So Christmas in April. Here we are. We're
our quarterly Christmas celebration.
That's what it is. Every quarter, we're going to have a Christmas episode because we love Christmas so much, especially me, a huge Christmas fan. I've never celebrated, but when I do, I'm going to be so into it.
The turning of every season requires a holiday season celebration.
That's right. And maybe mattresses or used cars are on sale near you. So
exactly,
go run to your local Christmas in April sale.
Yeah, we can't wait for our Halloween Christmas special. We just integrate all the holidays.
Yeah. And we will include a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas references in that episode. That's for sure.
Of course. Ooh, that's a heist.
It is a heist, actually.
We'll put a pin in that.
Okay. I don't think it's based on fact, but, we'll tell it anyway.
You're right. We only do shows that are based on fact.
We'll ask Tim Burton about that.
Right.
So for today's heist club, we do go back to the 90s for some good old-fashioned semi-professional burglars and the unlikely heroes that save the day. While we may have dipped our toes into home invasion before, see our Bling Ring episode, today's heisters aren't robbers of celebrities or multi-million-dollar gemstones. They're rather simple, actually. Two low-level criminals looking for a quick buck. Haven't really done a story like this before. But while most low-level burglars are known for keeping it local, this pair does stand out for taking their exploits cross-country. I think they stood out to us for that reason. So they are still anything but your usual burglars. We're going to avoid the suspense in this one and just get right into who they are because they are characters.
Yeah.
I don't know, straight out of a movie, if you would. First, we have Harry Lime. Despite having dropped out of school in 6th grade, he is the brains of the operation and very short. Not that those two things maybe are connected. At 47 years old and standing at 5'4", he looks a bit like he walks straight out of a mob movie. Like I said, straight out of a movie. A wickedly short temper and speaks with a thick New York Italian accent. Then we have 33-year-old Marv Merchants. He's the reason Harry has to be the brains for both of them. He's almost a foot taller than Harry, so quite an odd couple. And he's a major klepto. Even if he were rich, he would probably be finding other ways to steal, basically. That's Marv for you. So kind of a perfect wingman for Harry. We have a picture of them, and yeah, the height difference is immediately apparent. Marv is kind of he's towering over Harry.
Yeah, he really is. He's wielding a crowbar, pretty menacing.
They both look menacing to me. Yeah,
Marv
we don't
Harry
always get the
Lime.
menacing photos. Sometimes we get like the fake smiles or the smiles of a mugshot. This is not a mugshot. This is them.
Yeah,
I think they want to come after me or something. I don't.
Yeah, they're on a mission.
They're scaring me a little.
I will say, Harry Lime, pretty funny name. What do you call Harry Lime? It's also known as a kiwi.
A Harry Lime is a kiwi. Now you make me hungry.
Oh, sorry.
Do you think anyone ever made that joke to Harry? Or you think they're too afraid of him to make that joke? They would get beat up if they said that.
Probably. What's up, Kiwi? I don't know. It's
Kiwi?
pretty silly.
Yeah, maybe in prison at some point. Maybe it was a prison nickname or something.
I just love a silly name, so I had to make a joke.
Okay, I like it. The duo have been operating for a while in the suburbs surrounding Chicago, like Winnetka, which is 16 miles north of downtown and has the highest average income of any town in Illinois, which I did not know. So I can't say I know much about Winnetka. And so far, they have a pretty simple setup. Pull into the driveway of a vacant house in their van, disguised as repairmen. I think on the side of the van it says OK Plumbing and Heating. That's the fake name of their company, which is creative at least, I guess.
I guess. Okay, we're mediocre plumbing and heating.
It's OH then a dash KAY. I actually don't know what that's supposed to stand for. I don't know if it's just like it feels more realistic that they'd have like a punny name. If it was in Ohio, I'd be like, oh, K, or who's K?
I think you're thinking about it way too hard. I just think
I'm spiraling, Jesse. I'm spiraling.
Are they from Ohio?
Does this explain their background? I don't know. Where they grew up.
I mean, I'm glad you have your detective hat on, but I don't know if that's a clue.
Listeners, this is not important. Pay no attention to what I'm talking about right now. I'm spending way too much time on it. Oh no, just kind of got pulled into it.
They're called OK Plumbing, and that might come back later, but it won't.
Maybe, or maybe it won't. It definitely won't. Ohio is not a part of this heist.
No.
Okay. Well, so they're set up. They pry open the back door or cellar door if the home has one with their trusty crowbars. They love their crowbars. And they fill up their sacks. Yes, they use sacks. They are so old school. Fill up their sacks with anything they deem valuable. They use the crowbars to shove items into their sacks to prevent fingerprints. So at least that's clever. The crowbars just don't. What? You're going to say no? It's not clever?
No, I mean, it's pretty run and gun. I'm just imagining like screaming while they do it, like ah!
I guess that's possible. I mean, I'm not saying it's sophisticated. I'm just saying, at least their crowbars are their tool. If they were action figures, they'd have the crowbar they'd be holding because they don't just open doors with them. They use them to put things into their sacks. Okay, maybe I'm giving them too much credit there.
No, but I feel like they're not using it like a claw machine. Let me be very careful. They're just like.
Yeah, just knocking things in. Right. Yeah, they're a little level that way. That's true. After they've had their fill, they stroll out of the house with their loot and drive off all in broad daylight. So they do it during the day. So pretty brazen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And staking out homes and waiting for the owners to vacate can be a long and not very rewarding process. However, with the holidays approaching here, Harry sees bluer skies and bigger payouts because in wealthy neighborhoods like Winnetka, families decide to travel to warmer weather and even abroad for the holidays. That seems true. I mean, that's something that happens very often anyway, especially when you're in a cold weather place.
Yeah.
Be it New York, where I live, or Michigan, where I grew up, or the Chicago suburbs. So, they understand the people they are robbing from. But how do you know which family is leaving and when? Don't worry. Harry has that covered, or maybe do worry because Harry has that covered. On December 21st, Harry goes door to door dressed as a police officer named Berniage. Am I pronouncing that well? What do you think, Jesse?
Bernias?
Bernias? Maybe. So Harry asks families if they'll be out of town for the holidays and if they are taking precautions against burglaries as there have been a series of home invasions. So he's using it as make sure you have security set up, or do you have security? And oh, what a nice police officer going door to door, but not really. It basically gives him a chance to scope out the houses and know what's going to be easiest to take and what's worth taking. At one house, he arrives at the same time as a pizza delivery boy who asks him if he's just there for the holidays. And Harry responds, I guess you could say that. So, a little clever, a little joking about it. The next night, while sitting in the OK Plumbing and Heating van, look, it came back, Jesse. I knew it was going to come back.
You're right. Wow.
They're in the van. So in the van, Harry brags to Marv about how all these rich families told him exactly when they were leaving for Christmas. What fools, right? Harry knows the block so well, he even knows the timing of the lights. Literally knows when things are being turned on. He knows the insides and outs of these homes now.
Yeah, they're doing the research.
Doing his research. That's good. Not everyone does, right? This is not a spur of the moment heist. They are, spending their time getting to know the people themselves, actually, which is risky, but okay.
Yeah.
In total, 5 families are leaving for the holidays, so it's 5 massive houses to plunder. And on December 23rd, in the middle of the day, the duo breaks into the first home armed with only crowbars and sacks. This would be the home of Jack Murphy, not the Jack Murphy from our Beach Boys episode. Wasn't that Jack Murphy?
Sure.
Right? That was they robbed the Natural History Museum.
That's him.
Yeah. This is just a coincidence. For all you Heist Clever conspiracy theorists who read into every little detail, this is actually Jack's name.
It's all connected, man.
This Jack Murphy has taken his family to Orlando for the holiday. We have a picture of the Murphy home. It looks like a nice suburban home. I'm not sure if it stands out a lot more than that. It looks, most families would be proud to live in this house. It's got a nice white porch. And they steal anything valuable in sight and also open all the family's presents, which is, I guess, a good move. So now it's starting to feel mean. I mean, like, well, look, robbing from someone's home is also mean, but
right,
the family presents, you're just ruining the whole family's fun now, too.
Yeah, don't you think about the children?
Yeah. What a bunch of Grinches these guys are.
I know.
Harry and Marv. Also, we'll call them Grinch 1 and Grinch 2.
There you go.
And they're not very tactical, especially Marv, who, Jesse, like you kind of said, destroys practically every piece of glass as he shovels silver dinnerware into his sack. So I was giving him credit for, great, no fingerprints. And you're like, yeah, but it's a crowbar. It's not exactly like gentle. They're just shoving things in and knocking them in and making a mess.
Right.
Yeah. Do we think they're using the crowbars to open the presents? Is that possible? Can you unwrap a bow with a crowbar? Is that like
you can smash it? You can smash a crowbar.
You can certainly just smash it. Okay. I was again, I guess I was looking at the delicate way, and they're not delicate. I need to stop pretending they are.
Shove it in, rip it open. I can see it.
Break. And speaking of that, Marv is feeling especially destructive today because in addition to his crowbar shenanigans, he runs all the faucets and clogs the drains as what he calls their calling card. Harry doesn't like, though, calling it a sick thing to do. We have seen calling card signatures before. I think of like the Gertie name on the drill of the Millennium Dome heisters, which again was not smart though. Remember, they got caught partially based on that. So
yeah,
if you have a calling card, it feels like you love yourselves too much. You're being too clever. Just do the crime and get out of there, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's not like the 1920s anymore where you can rob and like, tell them that old man sent you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Just like very bold Western way to live.
Yeah. He always wears a red bandana,
Yes. And his criminal name is Old Man is what I chose.
Yeah, that's right. So after the Murphy home, they hit a couple more houses in the neighborhood, all in broad daylight as well. So again, they are really going for it. And tomorrow is Christmas Eve. That's going to be the big payday for Marv and Harry. However, for reasons unknown, they do not follow their usual MO of going out during the day. This time they park the van across the street from the Murphys' house. And it's actually like a 2-for-1 for some reason. They return to the Murphys. They must have, maybe they saw something they didn't take. They remembered. They wanted to go back for it. And then also the massive house they parked at across the street, the one Harry calls the Silver Tuna. That's his name for it. We find out later. That's the house where he met the pizza boy. We have a picture of that house, which also a very nice suburban house. Looks a little bigger than the Murphys to me.
Yeah. More
windows, at least. It's got a lot of windows.
Yeah.
And a bigger attic. And the lights are on inside, and it feels very welcoming. I was going to say I would rob this house, but that's a weird thing to say. You know what I mean? It's just like...
I would rob this house.
I'd rob that. If I'm going to rob a house, that's the kind of house I would rob. No.
Seems like there's a lot of rooms to rummage through.
Yeah, some nice grass in front. I would live in that. I think I'd rob this house just so I could like live there for a little. That's what I would do. Just to live how the other half live, if you would.
Yeah, it looks like you could have like 13 kids.
Yeah.
It just looks huge.
Yeah. Tells you a lot about the wealth of Winnetka.
Yeah.
But a little after 10 p.m., a 911 dispatcher in Chicago receives a brief but urgent call about a home invasion robbery. The caller, the man on the airline, only says, name's Murphy, which is confusing because we thought they were in Orlando. So we actually don't know much about who the caller actually was, but he says, name's Murphy. This is a very strange call for the local police about an otherwise very quiet neighborhood. So not a lot of crime in this neighborhood normally. The only call they responded to in the past days was a wellness check, and that amounted to nothing anyway. So again, not a lot of activity in general. An entire squad of police cars race over while Marv and Harry are none the wiser. But they have bigger problems to attend to, actually, because while they rummage through the Murphy's kitchen, another unwanted guest enters the house. Who could it be? You probably have no idea. Why would you? Find out after the break.
And we're back. It's Christmas Eve night, and Harry and Marv are looking to hit 2 houses in one night, finishing off with the Silver Tuna. But as they plunder the first house, a stranger walks through the door. Harry hears a loud bang. When he turns around, he sees Marv sliding down the wall. Before he can register what happened, Marv's assailant turns on Harry, knocking him out as well. Our hero, an old man with a shovel. Often referred to by the community as Old Man Marley, Mr. Marley is a bit of an eccentric. He lives alone and keeps to himself. Most of the time, neighbors would see him salting the streets at night.
Even in the summer? Is that like even in the summer he's just salting the streets at night?
Constantly.
Yeah. How could you not tell stories about someone who's like, I know it's July, but I'm preparing early.
I'm the salt man.
The salt man.
I'm a salt man. No, actually, he has a different...
Can we do that? I'm the salt man.
At night, you can hear him scatting in the distance.
This is like, must be salting the roads again. I hear the scatting outstretched.
And honestly, can you think of anything scarier? You're in your bed and you're like, it's like 2 in the morning. That's pretty scary.
He's the salt man.
Do I hear the ghost of Scat Man John?
Is that who this is? Okay, wow.
Okay, the Salt Man actually had a real nickname. Local children believe that he's actually the South Bend Shovel Slayer, a killer who murdered his entire family and half the entire block with a snow shovel in 1958, but avoided arrest.
Wow.
That is terrifying, maybe even terrifier if he was a scat man. A morbid, dark, terrifying added to the story is that he mummified his victims using his street salt.
Does the Indiana police not follow people to Illinois? Is that what happened? Like they're very aware that he might be the South Bend Shovel Slayer, who is a real person, or they just made up the story completely? I don't know, but I'm just saying South Bend, not far from Chicago, but across state lines. You know, the home of Notre Dame University.
And to be clear, this is just something the kids in the neighborhood made up, an urban legend, if you will.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But a brutal urban legend. Anyway. But on Christmas Eve 1990, Mr. Marley is hailed as the hero who saved the neighborhood from destructive crooks. He tells the police he was out salting the streets when he saw the bandits breaking into Murphy's house and went inside to confront them. He then gave each crook one swift blow to the head, knocking them out cold. He was surprised the police had arrived before he even had the chance to pick up the phone. That's peculiar. However, Mr. Marley's efforts do not save the Murphy's house from severe water damage and general destruction, courtesy of Marv. The Murphys also have to deal with a $250 water bill on top of thousands of dollars in damage. As police load Harry and Marv in the back of their cars, Marv brags about their robberies around the city and lets them know of their special calling card, completely ignorant to the fact that he just incriminated himself and Harry to more crimes.
Well, we did say earlier that, Marv was not the smart one of the duo. So this is very emblematic of that. Like, shut your mouth, Marv. What are you doing?
I know.
Although, I guess I'm fine with it. He's a criminal. Sure. Okay. Tell us. If he didn't do that, maybe we wouldn't have a story to tell today. So I guess thank you, Marv. Thank you, Marv.
Thank you, Marv. He reminds them to add in the report, remember, we're the wet bandits. What does he think? He's going back to my thing. What do you think? He's the 1920s? Stupid.
He does, I guess. This is the first time we didn't. Okay, the wet bandits. So they have a name for themselves. No one knew that. So
that's why we had to remember. Yeah,
exactly. Remember, we're the wet bandits. Okay, well, you're telling us for the first time, so there's not a lot of remembering going on. But this is the calling card. This is why he did it.
We should have said, by the way, we've named ourselves, and here it is.
May we introduce ourselves as the wet bandits for the first time?
Nice to meet you. Harry kicks him a few times for the blunder. It's not all bad for the bandits' victims, though. Even though water damage repairs may be in their imminent future, the police recover all stolen items in the van. And there's one house that managed to escape their clutches. Number 671, the Silver Tuna.
They never made it inside, right? They went to the Murphy's house to get whatever they were going to get. They missed the day before and then never made it into the house. That beautiful house with all the light shining at us.
Well, good. I'm glad they didn't penetrate it. One mystery remains, though, since the Murphys were out of town, who actually called 911. Investigators believe it was likely a Good Samaritan who wanted to remain anonymous. Who wants to get tied up in a criminal case during the holidays?
Oh, man, Marley does. I guess he didn't make the call because he stopped them with the shovel and was surprised the cops were there, so it clearly wasn't him. But yeah, he got tied up in the criminal case. I'm sure he had to.
He had to get involved.
Trial, yeah.
Yeah. But just as officers think the night is done and over with, when they arrive at the jail, they make a gnarly discovery. Virtually every inch of Harry and Marv's bodies have some form of injury. Doctors say they should be dead 3 times over and are shocked that they're even standing. One anonymous ER nurse said it was like they got run over by multiple cars.
We have a picture, and the only thing I'll say for the picture is it looks like Marv, the tall one, got an iron to his face. There's like an iron mark on his face. I know we're going to talk about it in a second, but I'm just accentuating the picture. It's they look like they're a mess. They're a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both suffered from major head trauma, including skull fractures, fractured ribs, internal bleeding, and burns.
Whoa.
Harry had third-degree burns on his scalp and a second-degree burn on his hand with the letter M burned in.
M?
Marv,
Okay.
M.
Did you ever see the movie M? This is a way back reference. Fritz Lang. But
I do like M. That's a great monologue.
yes, it's an incredible movie. I don't think the M is for the same reason here, but great movie. And
you don't think so?
They write the letter M on the jacket, right? Yes. That's a dark movie.
You don't think the M is for referencing being a serial child murderer?
A child murderer? I mean, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think Harry was a big Fritz Lang fan. I was not expecting that movie to come up today.
I just the letter M. You think about the M? I was like, we don't know what the M is for, so I'm just guessing. I'm not actually.
Be this.
Yes. What else could it be? There's no other option. McDonald's? No way.
Marv? Nope.
Marv? Nope. Yeah. But it's on Harry's hand, not Marv's hand. Anyway, sorry.
He's trying to remember his friend's name. I don't know.
Okay.
Marv had a second-degree burn on his face, which looked like he got smacked with an iron, as we said. Harry also had broken and missing teeth. He made sure everyone knew his prized gold tooth was missing. He also had a testicular hematoma and a sternum fracture.
Oof.
He also had chicken feathers as a new accessory. So he's covered in feathers and just messed up head to toe.
Maybe was that cool in the 90s? I'm trying to remember the early 90s. Was chicken feathers like a fad that we had?
Oh, yeah. You just like tar yourself a little bit, throw some feathers on, walk out the door. Really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, all those grunge kids, they were all doing all sorts of stuff.
It was flannel shirts and skids pants and hypercolor shirts and chicken feathers. That was the time. That was the time.
Yeah, it took the new dirty flannel to a next level. Just roll around the dirt, go to a chicken coop real quick. Okay. Meanwhile, Marv had a deep puncture wound on the bottom of his left foot and lacerations on both feet with glass foreign bodies. He also had a fractured eye socket and was treated for arachnid venom.
They really are it's like a science experiment gone wrong. It's just everything.
There is no way they suffered these injuries from one blow to the head each. So were the neighborhood kids right about Old Man Marley? But when police asked if Mr. Marley did this to them, they don't get much of a statement out of Harry and Marv. Just angry mutterings about killing that kid.
Killing that kid? So maybe the M is for child murderer.
Whoa, maybe they are child murderers. I think we're solving this before. Yeah.
This is like new information. They're talking about killing a kid all of a sudden. Wow, this got really dark.
Well, that took a turn. No further information is gleaned about the identity of who that kid may be. So maybe not.
Yeah. So he lived. I guess he lived. Whoever he is, he survived.
Yeah, maybe they didn't kill him after all.
Yeah.
The so-called wet bandits try to plead not guilty, though the case is pretty open and shut against them, and they each get a 15-year sentence. But that is not the end of the tale of the wet bandits. Harry and Marv do not take well to prison and want out ASAP. They may have been foiled by an old man, but they still have some tricks up their sleeve. 9 months into their stay, a prison riot breaks out during a delivery, and they make a break for it, sneaking inside a box truck. Out of sheer dumb luck, no pre-planning by Harry and Marv, the truck gets waved through instead of thoroughly inspected.
This is so interesting. I didn't think we'd be telling multiple jailbreaks.
I know.
This reminds me of Roofman, right? Remember in Roofman, Manchester, he also escaped via a truck in a different way. He wasn't, he was under the box truck. He was under the truck.
Yeah.
And also not thoroughly inspected. But it was like months of planning for Jeffrey Manchester.
Right.
Feels like Harry and Marv were just a couple of idiots who lucked into us thanks to a riot. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right after the prison delivery, the truck gets loaded with fish and sent off far from Illinois to the Big Apple, New York City.
Is there a lot of fish that goes from Illinois? I mean, I guess there's Lake Michigan sturgeon or something. There has to be some type of fish that comes from the Midwest to New York restaurants, but
you've got to get the fish to New York City.
I guess so. Okay.
Harry and Marv managed to nick a revolver and street clothes from the driver, and they're basically home free. The land of criminal opportunity is theirs for the taking, but they don't want to stay in New York for long. They hope to get their hands on some false passports and flee the country. Then they can happily steal and make mayhem in peace, far away from authorities trying to find them after the prison break.
Okay. They're not looking just to stick around and get caught. that's better than other people we've seen before. Now, this reminds me of Butch Cassidy, right? We're leaving the country, we're wanted, and we're just going to spend a couple of days in New York first, running around town, having a good time before we go to South America or wherever the wet bandits want to go.
Right. Yeah. Every heist we've ever done is coming up today.
Yeah. It's all coming together.
Yeah. Who knew? One problem, though, you need money to buy fake passports. That's nothing our resident klepto Marv can't handle. He fashions a sticky glove out of tape and sticks his hand into Salvation Army donation buckets, collecting any loose change that hitches along for the ride.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah, stealing from charity now. Okay. He went from stealing from the rich, like the richest of the rich, to stealing money that's supposed to go to the poor. So,
yeah. Man, back in 1990 when stealing change could actually get you anything.
I guess so, yeah. Good luck even finding change these days.
Yeah. I saw a quarter the other day. It was crazy. He does get a bit too bold, though, when he attempts to latch onto a woman's purse and she punches him in the face for it. He's pretty successful overall, though, especially in the winter wear department.
Oh, because it's cold. It's New York City. They broke out of prison. That makes sense.
Harry also realizes pretty quickly that if they want cash fast, they can't go the usual route of fencing stolen heirlooms and dinnerware. They need to cut out the middleman. Stealing straight cash is the way to go. It's Christmas time again, and Harry reasons that toy stores around Christmas time would have the most cash. Marv suggests hotels and candy stores, but Harry shoots him down as quickly as they're brought up.
I'll just say really quickly, I mean, I don't know if 1990 feels like a long time ago to you or not. I mean, I guess it is a long time, but, obviously we're older in certain ways. Versus like my kids, 1990 feels like 12 lifetimes ago. But the idea that, again, cash, coins, like this is all such valuable to them. Like this is even a little bit of cash from a toy store or coins from a bucket can go a long way. Where now you wouldn't even like think about that, right? How much cash would they have on hand? They'd have very little at all. And even the Salvation Army buckets, I'm assuming there's like a Venmo option or something like, here, scan our QR code and donate it on your phone. Don't worry about dropping quarters anymore.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. When they mentioned Old Man Marley, like when he murdered in 1958, that was only 30 years from then.
That's right. Yeah,
that's right. It's like 100 years to us,
Uh-huh. That's right.
So they decided on toy stores. And what's a better option than Duncan's Toy Chest? It's a massive 2-story building, always packed shoulder to shoulder with customers during the holidays. And we have a photo of the inside of Duncan's Toy Chest, and it looks huge and festive.
It is like, it is really done up. Every inch is Christmas. By the way, I meant to look it up. I don't know if Duncan's Toy Chest is still open. I've never been. I don't know where in town it is. I know F.A. Schwartz like closed years ago. There was like a version of it inside Macy's or wherever it is. But Duncan's Toy Chest is not a place I have brought my kids in New York City. It looked fun. I wish it was still around.
Yeah, it looks awesome. They case the place out and discover that they have hit the jackpot of targets. Not only are the registers loaded with cash, there is a glass treasure chest in the middle of the floor stuffed with money. That's cool. It's for a children's charity, but Harry and Marv think their situation calls for it more.
Of course,
I guess so.
If they're willing to take quarters from a bucket, why wouldn't they take hundreds or thousands of dollars, whatever it is, loaded in cash in this chest? Yeah.
Like taking candy from a baby, kind of.
Like taking cash from a toy store. Yeah.
Stealing thousands from charity. They chose Christmas Eve again as their heist day, as Harry reasons the store won't deposit cash to the bank on Christmas Eve. Will they be successful this time? Find out after the break.
Welcome back, and Merry Christmas in April, as we always say on Heist Club. Harry and Marv decide to rob Duncan's toy chest on Christmas Eve to redeem themselves from last year's blunder. It's only a year later. They're really keeping at it. They hide in kids' playhouses inside the store. Again, very Jeffrey the Roofman Manchester of them to hide in the toy store.
Yeah.
I feel like there's really emulating Jeffrey Manchester, although this is actually before Jeffrey. So I guess they're not. Maybe he's emulating them?
Maybe so.
So they emerge long after closing, literally when the clock strikes 12. We have this, I think, from the security cameras there. They break into the registers and the donation box. Easy enough. Now they just have to escape. Yet, not being the sharpest tools in the shed, they somehow blunder the escape by breaking a window and tripping the alarm. I guess you're not surprised by that. They break things, right? If there's anything the wet bandits are known for, it's breaking things.
Yeah, do they have their crowbars this time?
Yeah, they probably don't unless they found them from someone else. But speaking of breaking things, they also break their own bones. Everything gets broken. The things in the house, in the toy store, and in their bodies.
Maybe they beat each other with crowbars.
Yeah. What an abusive relationship they have with each other. It's true.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
So the wet bandits, they escape through Central Park, which in 1991 is considered a bit of a death trap, actually. But they don't face down a mobster or a rogue with a knife. Instead, they run into a quiet woman known to New Yorkers around Central Park as the Pigeon Lady, who sicks her loyal birds onto the bandits. And we have a picture of the Pigeon Lady, which I'm sure could have been taken by any tourists at that time, in the early 90s. She looks very sweet. I mean, she has a bunch of pigeons on her. I don't know if I would do that. I remember seeing that like in Italy too, right? Like in Venice, there's like the pigeon people who let pigeons land on them. I don't remember seeing it in Central Park recently when I've been there, but she's got a big smile on her face. She's probably a tourist attraction and she knows it.
I think you should pick that back up and you should start going to Central Park and lure the pigeons. That could be you.
Gentleman?
You could be the next pigeon lady, the pigeon gentleman.
Yeah. I could put out a bucket for spare change when they take a picture of me, or a QR code maybe, so they can give me some money for it, right? Or am I doing it for the love of the game? Is it just because I love it so much?
Please give me some money because there's a bunch of pigeons on me. I guess that's a real thing in Italy, but that's insane.
Yeah. They barely pooped on me. Aren't you impressed?
Wow, they trust me.
Or something. So while police respond to the Duncan's toy chest alarm, the search expands to Central Park then. Conveniently, fireworks light up the sky right where the bandits were being tormented by the pigeons, which is hard to see as a coincidence, but nothing is known about the source of the fireworks. So that's just kind of a crazy little, I don't know how they ran to the fireworks, and that's where Harry and Marv were. So good for the police. The NYPD manages to shoo the birds away and collect the bandits. This time, it's always something with these two. They are covered in black tar, bird seed, and lots of feathers. So, they're real gluttons for punishment, these guys.
They didn't get enough feathers from last time.
Right, exactly. More feathers. That's right. The trend is just growing and growing. Good. You picked that up well. That's good. We have a picture again. They are covered in feathers. This is like comedic. This is like a cartoon. Look at that.
Yeah. They look really uncomfortable. I would hate to be covered in feathers like that.
Yeah. I don't think the Pigeon Lady did it. And we also know our fake serial killer from Illinois is nowhere to be found in New York City. So we can't blame Marley either. Also in the scene are photographs of the two inside Duncan's toy chest and an audio recording of them threatening to kill someone for catching them. This is a crazy story. So it's all basically served on a silver platter for the cops somehow. And in both cases, this is true in Winnetka too, there remains real mysteries about who helped the cops do their jobs, right? And here we have the fireworks. We have photographs of them inside the toy factory. And then we also have the audio recording of them threatening to kill someone. Wow. And maybe predictably, Marv's big mouth gets them again when he gloats to the police that they managed to escape prison, maybe to save his ego. But I guess Harry kicking him last time when he did this with the police didn't fix the behavior.
Yeah, I feel like this is their MO. Like, also, we're going to admit everything we did.
Yes, once we get caught, we just tell you everything. And it's not like they're getting like a lesser deal for it. It's like the cops are like, tell us everything. It's like, no, before they even like get the chance to cop a plea of some kind, they're just admitting it all.
You're not even in the cop car. Yeah, calm down. Yeah.
Right. And also, they are no longer the wet bandits. Now they are the sticky bandits. They're like, they're kind of like the prince of burglars, just constantly changing their name, right? I guess sticky now because they were like
known as wet and sticky.
The artist formerly known as the wet bandits, and now the sticky bandits. I guess because they were using the sticky thing to steal, the sticky glove to steal out of people's purses and out of the Salvation Army bins.
Or there wasn't a lot of sinks and tubs in the toy chest, so they had to change it up.
Had to be something. The MO was taken away from them, so they had to find something else.
Right.
Marv was also bummed, apparently, that he missed the prison gift exchange, telling the police that Harry made them hide in the store to steal charity money. So again, this is just more examples of Marv being Marv and telling everything. Harry obviously didn't learn his lesson and find Nick a new partner in crime, literally. And Harry, like before, attacks Marv and exercises his right to remain silent. So Harry says nothing, but just kind of beats up Marv for saying too much and getting them in more trouble. Also, like before, again, they stick to their ways.
Yeah.
The NYPD are in for a rude awakening when the bandits are taken to the hospital for their avian encounter. Like clearly there were some damage again. Both men were treated for major head trauma again, rib fractures, broken noses, plural, internal bleeding, and histoplasmosis, which apparently is an avian infection.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They got
Beyond that, listen, I'm also not done, Jesse. Beyond that, their injuries differ greatly. Harry yet again has third-degree burns on his scalp, airway burns, so he breathed in the fire, and broken fingers, and he's still got that M burned into his palm too from before. It's not a new M; it's the same palm. The same M has not gone away. So,
wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Marv is a real life game of operation. He has puncture wounds in his face, buttocks, and penis, significant lacerations and bruising to his face, a testicular rupture, the testicles again. He also presented with cardiac arrhythmia, likely caused by electrocution, evidenced by his full body electrical burns. What happened to these guys? They are just, it's a really game of operation, but wasn't there also what was that Muscle Man toy in the 70s? I think you could just throw around and get beat up, and it would Stretch Armstrong. Is that what it was?
Stretch Armstrong.
Right? It's kind of they're being treated like Stretch Armstrong by someone or something, or they're doing it to themselves somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, what is going on?
It's funny. This feels like the scene in Naked Gun to me, where Nordberg is shot and then hits his head, then touches the hot stove, and then a window falls on his hand before he face plants into a cake, gets his foot caught in a trap, and then eventually falls off the boat. It's that is my only explanation for what's happening to them. Is it's a Nordberg situation. That's what I picture.
It's very cartoonish. It's like some Wile E. Coyote stuff.
Yeah.
He's getting blown up and thrown around and falling off cliffs.
That's right. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
And then doctors in their NYC hospital say they have never seen anything like it and actually take hundreds of medical students to their rooms. They're basically a test case or a test study, whatever you want to call it. The case is taught today in some medical schools about the resilience of the human body. I guess that's one way to look at it. They survived despite all of these injuries.
Yeah.
Respect.
They're a miracle.
They are a miracle. The hospital wanted to keep them longer as a case study, but the wheels of justice must turn forward. While recovering from the injuries, Marv and Harry are sentenced to 25 years in prison. So even more time. Maybe the New York justice system just comes down harder on them. They also broke out of jail, right? So there's additional charges. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I forgot about that. When they are again asked if the pigeon lady this time had anything to do with the severe injuries, they don't give much of a coherent answer, maybe understandably because they're out of sorts. Only what they give is rage-induced chants about killing some kid. So they blamed a kid in Illinois, again here in New York. These are not old men, right? They're not old enough to be everyone's a kid. Oh, that 25-year-old's a kid. I don't know. It's a kid. It's killing some kid again.
Wow. They're really obsessed with that movie, M.
Yeah. Huge fans of German cinema in the 20s and 30s. Yep. Peter Lorre. Just love Peter Lorre.
Right.
So it has been theorized that their operations may have been connected to the mob as they worked both in Chicago and New York, two mobbed up cities. It also may explain their silence on who gave them such a beating. Maybe there are some other story to tell here. And the mysterious photos and the audio tape, right? Which was just hand delivered to police. I don't know. We don't have answers. If you have theories, Heist Clubbers, feel free to speak up. We will take any and all theories. And we also do not know anything about what became of Harry. So he was in prison. Let's say if he was in for 25 years, that means he got out, 10 years ago now, but don't know what happened to him. Marv, though, he gets released from prison in 2018 and immediately goes back to his old ways, this time, though, alone. So that's why we don't know what happened to Harry. And we know about Marv that he is thwarted by a Google Home Assistant. This is quite a detail. He's thwarted by a Google Home Assistant when he tries to rob the home of a man named Kevin McAllister, who was home alone at the time. So Marv once again got caught and went back to jail. He did not give up on his ways. And that is the story of the wet bandits, the sticky bandits, whatever you want to call them.
Medical miracles that are Harry and Marv.
They really are. I want to interview some doctors to hear about how they were taught about them in med school and how they came up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what Heist this reminds me of. I like the heist that kind of remind me of the Coen brothers, as I've said before, just like the quick and dirty and stupid ones that are kind of silly. It's not really like the Loomis one because that they stole millions of dollars, but were quickly thwarted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really interesting. I would like to do more like these because I just think it's when they have a whole operation. They're not very good at it, but it's interesting. Are they good at it? We can try to get to our diamond rating and try to figure out.
I am comparing it to Bling Ring because Bling Ring, I mean, yes, it's celebrities, it's very different, but it's over the course of a period of months, time. They're not all in the exact same neighborhood every time. They do return to the same home multiple times. And those people, again, I mean, the Winnetka neighborhood's quite rich. So maybe if they weren't smashing things, I'd say maybe like the Bling Ring, you could steal things they wouldn't even notice, right? They would notice Christmas presents gone. They will notice glassware smashed, but maybe they have enough property that you can steal a few things they wouldn't even notice. But in this, it feels more risky in some ways for the Wet Bandits because they're doing one neighborhood and multiple homes in one neighborhood. So, I know the families are away, but if they weren't away and any word would to get out, the police would be in that neighborhood immediately, and it feels like an easy way to get caught. At the same time, they're doing it quickly, unlike the Bling Ring, right? Unlike them, they are doing it. We are in this neighborhood for a week, whatever the time frame is, and we're trying to hit as many homes as we can. And then I would assume they would have left Illinois anyway, maybe not gone to New York City by way of fish truck, but they would have gone somewhere and been, gotten farther away enough that they wouldn't be seen or recognized as, oh, that guy was the fake police officer who came to my home and asked us about our security system.
Right. Yeah, it's not a bad plan. I feel like they got caught pretty quickly, and it's not like they got away with it for a long time.
In both cases, yeah.
I mean, A for effort, I guess, but they got, I don't know, messed up pretty quickly. And they just you could say they failed so hard because of how injured they got.
I mean, they failed in every way, right? They didn't actually get to walk away with anything. Everything was recovered. They got super injured. They got a good amount of jail time because we've all seen cases like even the Bling Ring, right? Remember what Rachel got 3 years, Nick got 2 years, some people got 1 year. Like it was, I mean, that's not nothing, but that's not 15 years. That's not the time they're getting here. I mean, they didn't break out of prison, the Bling Ring, as far as I know. That'd be an interesting story. But no, they did not. They were too busy being in prison with Lindsay Lohan and living it up. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty unimpressive when you think about it in general, right? I mean, the smart part is trying to hit up, well, but this is also like Bling Ring, right? People are out of town. Oh, I know they're out of town. They're at Fashion Week or they're shooting a movie. That's when I'll go break into their house. In this case, it's like, I know these families are away for the holidays. So there is some level of aptitude there or forethought. There's really I think very little forethought in terms of the toy store. Like they're in New York. It just, they need money ASAP to get out of town and they just think that's a place to go. But, maybe they have cash there, but they were very little prep there. But this is a low one. This is a super low one. This is like a 1 diamond to me. This is 1 star on top of the Christmas tree. This is a 1 diamond heist to me. It's not that impressive. It's an entertaining story. The injuries are crazy. They are colorful characters, that is for sure. But in terms of actual heist, pretty pedestrian, and they don't even get away with it.
Right. And like, of course they have some kind of plan. I mean, what would constitute a zero? It's like they just run in without even thinking of anything and then immediately caught,
I guess it's funny. In my mind, a zero is you don't even pull it off, but I guess they don't pull it off here. I guess you could go 0. I'm not sure why I'm not immediately going to 0.
Yeah, me neither. Like, I mean, initially I wanted to say 1.5, but I don't even know why.
I don't know. I would not go 1.5.
Because a zero heist, we would never hear about it because someone wouldn't think about it. They would run in and immediately get caught. And so it's not a heist.
I guess, but we have to give a 0 at some point. I think a 0 has to exist in our scale.
Maybe
Otherwise,
it's this one then. I don't know. We can save it. I'll give him a half a diamond.
Half a diamond. There you go. I like half a diamond. You're not going quite 0, but I think I'd understand why you would go 0 for the first time here. And half a diamond feels right. Maybe 1 diamond's too much. I don't know. Maybe I'm expecting that there's got to be some story out there that is worse. Right?
Yeah. We never thought we would hit a 5 diamond heist, and we did. So I think our 0 is still out there waiting for us.
Yeah. I think those are low scores, and that's what it deserves. And it's maybe that's why we're not releasing it on Christmas. It's just, it's not a.
Yeah. This was our Christmas in April episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I liked it. It was silly. It was almost cartoonish.
It is. It reminds me, I feel like I've seen movies with plot lines like this. I can't think of the movie exactly, but I feel like, this kind of like neighborhood criminals, I don't know. There's like,
They seem like villains for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Heist Clubbers, we hope you enjoy your Christmas and April celebrations as well. And we hope we kicked them off properly with this episode. So we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thanks. So yeah, this week was the Sticky Bandits. And speaking of sticky, next week we have another sticky heist. Tune in next week for the maple syrup heist.
Heist Club is a production of School of Humans, hosted by me, Todd Weiser.
And me, Jesse Neiswanger. I do all the fancy audio and music editing too.
This episode was researched and produced by Carolyn Talmadge. Our senior producer is Amelia Brock.
Our production manager is Daisy Church. Our executive producers are Virginia Prescott, Brandon Barr, and Elsie Crowley.
Join us again next week for Heist Club, and don't forget to rate and review. Thanks.